Hey everyone, thanks for joining and welcome to this week's episode. And welcome to this new kitchen. I'm so excited because this is the first time I'm going to be cooking in this brand new kitchen. So, for this week, I am going to cook something which is native to this country and probably you might not have heard about it. And this is called Warrigal greens, or also known as the New Zealand spinach. So Warrigal greens is a native spinach that can be found in the eastern part of Australia and also in New Zealand. And this native green is a staple for the Aboriginals Australians and also for the first settlers when they first arrived. So back then in the 18th century, it takes about 9 months to make the epic journey from England all the way to Australia. And the journey would start from England and they would go down to the coast of Africa. And then they sail over to Brazil for a stopover and then continue to Cape of Good Hope and then to Western Australia and to the eastern part of Australia. So that is a very long journey back then. So back in those days, and especially making the epic journey to Australia, there were no such thing as refrigeration. All the animals and livestock were kept alive on board and they were killed just before they were served to the sailors and to the staff and crew. And they were only able to get fresh vegetables when they docked their ships in the port. So you can imagine that long journey, and by the time they arrived in Australia, some of them were sick and then some of them needed fiber, antioxidants and vitamin C, and this come from fresh vegetables. And so when they arrived in Australia, the Aboriginals introduced them Warrigal greens and they ate this spinach for a while until they were able to grow their own vegetables. So I mentioned that Warrigal greens is found along the coastal and swamp areas of this part of Australia. I managed to find mine in the inner city, not too far from where I am. And what I do is I forage them, and because you don't sell them in supermarkets at all, so this have to be foraged. And before consuming Warrigal greens, you need to blanch them for about half a minute in order to remove the bitterness. If not, it's going to taste quite bitter and it will not be that great after all. And you can only eat the leaves. So for this week, I'm going to show you a very simple recipe, which is a stir-fry Warrigal greens. And this won't take too long. And I'm going to make it the way I always eat it at home. And what you're going to need is some Warrigal greens, some chilies, some shrimp paste, onion, garlic, and some fish sauce, and lemongrass. So enough talking, this is starting to make me feel really hungry and I cannot wait. So let's head to the other side of the kitchen and get started. there you go guys, this is my take on the stir-fry Warrigal greens. I'm so looking forward to it. The smells are very familiar to what I'm used to cooking. And the Warrigal greens itself, they smell really like spinach when I was cooking it. It is smelling really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the bell. I'll see you guys again soon. Here's me saying goodbye. Take care. Ciao, ciao.